Aloha, O-doers! As you know, Stealthywood continues to grow, so manually managing all of our purchase orders and suppliers just isn't going to cut it anymore. Before Odoo, we recorded everything using papers, and no one likes paper for forms, spreadsheets, our little check-in logs, everything. It became chaotic, and we don't like chaos. Here now getting approvals was tedious, and at times we also incorrectly paid vendor bills. Now, keeping an eye on every order was a huge waste of our time, and time is money quite literally in this economy. With the Odoo Purchase app, we've said goodbye to all of these problems. Our purchase is now neatly organized, then our processes are as well. Now, which one of these things do you think helped us the most? Well, it's the ability to track every purchase easier than ever before. But that's not all. Stealthywood takes advantage of plenty of other features as well, so we can now automatically send requests for quotations to our suppliers depending on our stock levels or whenever we make a sales order. Now, thanks to purchase agreements, we get the best prices from our vendors either by negotiating with several suppliers at once or by bulk purchasing and bulk pricing with one supplier for recurring purchases. Now we can also get accurate statistics on our suppliers' performance, enabling us to maintain relationships with only the best suppliers. Now, Stealthywood use of the Purchase app allows us to get to our customers all of their products very quickly and cheaply, which everyone loves. So let's check out the Purchase app and create an RFQ or a request for quotation using Stealthywood's database. And as I always say, enough chit-chat, let's get in there. Okay, doers, so here we are on a very beautiful purchase dashboard, which I will always call beautiful because it is. Now from our purchase dashboard, we can also see an overview of all RFQs and my RFQs divided into various categories. Those that are to send or just RFQs that haven't been sent to the vendor yet. Those that are waiting, which are sent RFQs that are awaiting confirmation, and the one that we don't like, late sent RFQs where the confirmation deadline has passed or will pass today. Now to the right of that, we see some useful key performance indicators or KPIs for my acronym lovers, and these are all related to our purchases. And below, if we look over here, we have a list view of all the orders, both RFQs and POS or purchase orders, along with a wealth of useful information such as status. So what do we always practice here at Odoo? Well, we got to create something. So the create button that you see up here that I just clicked, let us create a request for quotation. Now we're going to see a lot of stuff here and I want to break it down for you. The very first thing we see is vendor, and we need to select a vendor. And who are we going to select? Well, I always talk about them as your interior, and we're going to select them. Now vendor reference, then we can add the reference code that the vendor is using, for example, on their sales order or bid. Beside this, we see order deadline, and that is the date we expect the request for quotation to be confirmed by. When we confirm the RFQ, Odoo converts the RFQ into a purchase order. Even if the deadline is passed, you can still confirm the order in Odoo. Now, what is the next thing we see? Well, expected arrival. Now, this is the delivery date promised by the vendor. It is useful to add that information to generate an on-time delivery rate for your vendor. If you click on it, we can see even more detailed statistics as well, but we will kind of need to go over this overview. So, lastly, you can send a receipt confirmation email. If you don't see this, by the way, click Configuration, go to Settings, scroll to the Order section, and make sure Receipt Reminder is activated. Now the receipt reminder automatically sends an email to the vendor, say 5 days before the receipt date, and this asks them to confirm the shipment arrival date. I can also configure this in the vendor's contact form, so whenever I select the vendor, it automatically activates receipt reminder. Now the very next thing that I want to do is I want to click on this external link button that we see right here next to the Azure Interior tab, and the reason is because we want to go over here into the sales in the purchase tab, the purchase section, and there you see it, receipt reminder field, and we're going to click discard. Now let's add the products we're looking to purchase. In this case, we're going to add office chair. And as you can see, the price per unit after this loads is set to 3,899 pesos. This happens because this product is configured to use that price for Azure Interior. However, this isn't a newly negotiated price that we agreed upon, so let's change that. Instead of adding the price to the RFQ itself, we will edit the product via its external product link here. So we click on this button next to the product, and you will see after it loads, it takes us over to a new product tab. Now in here, we want to navigate to the Purchase tab, and we want to find Azure Interior, and there we have it. And what is the new price? Well, let's say they gave us a 114 pesos off, so we're at 2,985 now instead of 3,099. And then once that we're done with this, you want to hit save, always save your progress. Now this new price will be automatically set on future RFQs associated with this particular vendor. Now for the updated price to appear, we have to delete the product and re-add it. It's just the way we do these things. So you want to click on this trash icon, and then you're gonna add the product again. And what do we need? We need that office chair. And there you have it. The new price is automatically applied now. Let's adjust our quantity to 15 chairs because now that we're saving 114 pesos, everything adds up. So quantity 15, and we're gonna hit, you guessed it, we're gonna hit save. Now when the RFQ is ready, we can send it by email to our vendor. So if you see up here, send by email, you guessed it, we're gonna click that. Now here as well, by the way, we can edit the email template, and we can also save it as a new template for future emails if needed. But for right now, we'll just go ahead and send it as it is. So we're gonna hit send. And now we can see the status of the RFQ changed. And what did it change to? Well, it changed to RFQ sent. At this point, we can also resend the RFQ, we can print it, or we can cancel it. Now, when the vendor confirms the RFQ, we'll click on the confirm order, and our RFQ is now a purchase order. So once that we finish this, what's the next thing we gotta do? Well, we have to receive products. Now, since we already have the inventory app installed, and our product is a physical storable item, Odoo automatically created a receipt, as you can see, with this convenient receipt smart button. We also have several new options, by the way. First, we can send the PO now by email, just like for the RFQ. We can also lock the purchase order to prevent any further editing. We can of course unlock it again as needed because that's how Odoo works. We can do things now. Note that the purchase orders can be locked by default by simply going to app settings and enabling lock confirm to orders. So let's try something though. So let's try to create a bill. Oops, look at that. We can't, as our product's control policy is based on received quantities, which is also found under configuration and directly inside of the settings. Now what does this mean? Well, this means we cannot create a vendor bill until we have at least received some of the ordered office chairs. We can, however, change that and manually set a product's bill control policy. So I'll show you how to do this on another product. So first, we gotta go somewhere. We gotta go to products. In this case, we're gonna select the one that I always like using, acoustic block screens, and then make your way over to the purchase tab. Now here we can set the control policy to unordered quantities, which means we'll be able to create a bill as soon as the request for quotation is confirmed. If we leave the control policy set to unreceived quantities, we can only create a bill when we receive all or some of the products, but we're going to discard these changes because they were just for visual purposes. So for now, let's go back to the purchase order we've been working on with Azure Interior. So you go ahead and navigate on over to order purchase orders, and we're going to select our purchase order. Now let's say you already received some of our products. Since we have the inventory app installed, we have the received products button and the receipt smart button enabling us to record the delivered quantities. So let's click on receive products. Now, if we immediately click on validate, Odoo will fill out the received or done quantities with the quantities ordered. But if we only receive part of our order, we can manually add the done quantities. In this case, we're going to go ahead and over and edit. We always select my favorite number 5 and we're going to save. Now, if we want to validate an incomplete order, we just click validate. Odoo suggests we either create a back order, which is what we use when we expect to receive the remaining products later, or no back order if we don't expect to receive the rest. In this case, we know we'll receive the rest soon, so let's create a back order. And this enables us to create a bill for the first part of the order we receive. And as we can see, we are only billed for the 5 received office chairs. But let's go back over to the purchase order via the breadcrumbs. Now, clicking on Create Bill gives us access to the draft bill for the 5 chairs that we've already received. Everything looks good, so let's go back to the purchase order. And now you'll notice there's now a vendor bill smart button, which is right next to the receipt smart button up here. And the receipt smart button now displays the number 2, as we have 2 different receipts now, one for the 5 chairs and one for the back order. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna click on that receipt smart button to see something else. Now once this loads, you can click on the ready receipt. I just got word that we received the remaining products from Azure Interior live chat and everything. So let's click on validate, and we're gonna go back to the purchase order again via the breadcrumbs. And we can now create a second bill. So we're going to go ahead and create bill. And here you can see we've only billed for the remaining 10 chairs. Let's add a bill date because we won't be able to confirm a bill without one. You always gotta have a date, so we're gonna add a bill date. Now that we've done that, if you notice, we can now actually confirm it. And then what else we can do? We can register the payment whenever my accounting team sends the payment to Azure Interior. So we select Create Payment and we save. Now you see that this now has the posted status and sports very clean in payment banner. And that's it. We're done. Pat yourselves on the back. So today we saw the basics of what the Purchase app can do for a company, but we can do so much more, and you always know that as well. So be sure to check out the next videos in the Purchase module. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and stay cold.